All right, what is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is a form of a digital payment system that is based on a network of computers, nodes, that is distributed and decentralized. Crypto is derived from the word cryptography, and this is a decentralized structure, or their decentralized structure allows them to exist outside the control of government and central authorities. So I'll be picking these words one by one, and I'll be taking time to explain each and every one of them. Now, cryptocurrency, or let me just say crypto, is a form of payment because it's a currency, and anything that is a currency is based on the fact of payment, that is exchange, right? I give, you take, for we to be able to have a value in exchange, right? So it is a currency, and it is a currency in the form of a digital payment that is based on a network of computer. Now, the network of computer, because it is not something physical. You know, if I want to buy, let's say for an example, I want to buy, I want to buy an apple from you. I have to give you your base currency in your country, and you give me apple in return for the value of its worth. But in this case, it operates on the network of computers, which are often referred to as nodes, right? That is distributed and decentralized. Now, the word distributed and decentralized, the word decentralized here means that, I believe everyone understands the meaning of distributed, but the word decentralized means that it is not centralized. When we're talking about a central financial system, we're talking about a system like the basic one we have in our countries, where you have a central bank that controls the finance of the country and even every citizen of that particular country. But when it's something is decentralized, that means it has no one in control, it has no one as the owner, it has no one as the central power controlling everything about it. So that's why we use the word decentralized, because it is based on community power and influence, right? So now the word crypto is derived from the word cryptography. I won't be going deep into the etymological aspects of cryptocurrency. Now, this is a decentralized structure allows the crypto system to exist outside the control of government, because it is not centralized like the government system of finance. It is decentralized, and this is one of the reasons why the government of today aren't very, 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 I don't want to use the word optimistic, but supportive of the idea of cryptocurrency, because it poses a threat to their own supremacy and sovereignty over people's finance, which is something that as a person don't believe in. A little history back then. All right, so let's continue. So cryptocurrency enables secure online payments without the use of third-party intermediaries. Crypto refers to the various encryption algorithm and cryptographic techniques that safeguard these entries, such as the elliptical curve encryption, which are also known as the public and private key and hashing functions. Now, I wouldn't have gone into all of these, terminologies or these deep technical jargons, if not that they have a particular, or they all have a role to play in this in this journey we're about to embark on. So there's a reason why I have to talk about the algorithm and the cryptographic techniques, and which led to the public and private keys. Now, so looking at the enable secure online payment without the use of third-party intermediaries, which in our business system is, when I want to send money from my account to your account, for an example, it usually go through lots of process in the case that it has validations and the likes, validations from your bank, my bank, which I'm sending money from, to the central bank system, which is the third party, then to your own bank. So there's a whole lot that goes. That's just the basic three journey, right? But there's a whole lot that goes along in this place that we can't even talk about right now. So, but cryptocurrency doesn't give room for all of that. If I want to send something to you, I send it and you get it almost immediately, within a minute, within two, without third-party interference. No one is asking you, why are you sending the money? No one is asking you to impute what the money is for. No one is going to question you if you sent the money beyond what you usually send, So now, the public and private key pairs. Now, there's something we understand as the public and private keys. We are going to explain all of this as we continue and go deep in this structure. But the public key and the private key. The public key in this sense is like your bank account number, and the private key is like your account security number. So just have it at the back of your mind like that. Now, the first crypto ever to be created is Bitcoin, by a pseudonymous person named Satoshi Nakamoto. That's just a name that no one actually could place a meaning to. Some people said the Satoshi means Samsung. Some people said Samsung, Toyota. I forgot to share, like Samsung, Mitsubishi or something. Then some people said the Nakamoto means Motorola and something. But those are just basic assumptions as well, rumors that people make. But that's not the reason why that's not what we're interested, right? You're interested about cryptocurrency and how to make our earnings from cryptocurrency. So the first transaction ever to descend on the Bitcoin blockchain was on January 12th, year 2009, from Satoshi to a long-time cryptographer and cypherpunk named Al Finney in block 170 of the cryptocurrencies network. Now, this is the history of cryptocurrency. So, if you're not interested, which I believe you are. So now, let me give a little explanation to the foreground of that. Now, when the cryptocurrency was created, it has to be tested, right? And the first test was done when I don't want to use the word owner, but the creator of cryptocurrency, which is the first cryptocurrency ever, Bitcoin, sent Bitcoin to a particular person who was like a real believer in the crypto system, in the crypto ideology, right? So he sent it to him in the year January in 2009, the month of January, the 12th day, and in the block 170. So when we get to blockchain, you understand why they could actually even place a number, block 170. And you might be thinking that, all right, we say cryptocurrency is decentralized and it is secure, but how can you get to still even trace transactions? That's one of the reasons and benefits of cryptocurrency. Nothing is hidden. You can always get access to everything as much as it is very secretive. So let's continue. So Satoshi sent 10 BTC to Orfini with a transaction cost of 0 Bitcoin. At the time, it is worth nothing. It was just a basic transaction because it had no value. Talking about value, the value of something is based on the demand and supply of that particular commodity. So I was completely unused and the cryptocurrency was virtually worthless. God, I wish he sent it to me back then. So now let's talk about how the crypto system works, right? We've had a little foreground to it. So the crypto system works basically and mainly on the blockchain system. And okay, let's start with the blockchain system. We have the transaction and mining, then we have the public and private key. So these are the three main components of cryptocurrency. But let's start with the blockchain. What is blockchain technology? Or what is blockchain? As its name implies, blockchain is essentially a set of connected blocks of information and an online ledger. Each book contains a set of transactions that have been independently verified by each validator on the network. Now I'm going to explain all of this. Now, if you remember, let's go back in time. Back then, let's say for us that maybe our mom, our dad, or our people, have a store, or one or two things they sell back then. You get me? So, what was it called? There is always a kind of book where we register where we register the inflow and outflow of commodities in that particular store, right? There's a book we call a ledger. In the basic financial terms, it's called a ledger, but we call it like sales book or something. Where you document everything that is bought, sold, and how much it was bought for, how much it was sold for, the date it was bought and date it was sold, like that. Now, so that is what a ledger is, and that is what a blockchain is. The blockchain is a virtual version of that ledger I've just mentioned to you. Because the crypto system is a system that involves sending and receiving of payment. So every payment has to be documented, right? For a proper business culture, a proper business attitude, it has to be documented, right? And that documentation, that blockchain itself is what powers the crypto system, because that blockchain itself is something that is encrypted. It's something that is secretive and at the same time open. That is why it is mysterious. It is not something controlled by anybody and it can't be, hacked. Yes, it is very, 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 very secure to that extent. So now, a set of connected blocks of information. So when we call it a blockchain, it's because it is a series of blocks. Let me see if I can get some pictures from line. Let me just show you a little thing. So now let's look at this picture right here. So let's wait for the network to load that. Now let's look at this. These are series of blocks. Let's just assume these are blocks. So these are series of blocks. This is me sending out to you. So as you can see, all of these things are interconnected. right? So all of these blocks, as you're looking at it, they all contain information, but this is not the actual picture I would like to, use to depict this illustration. Let me look for a better picture. These aren't, I'm not having enough. Let's use this one. This is very, very, very actual. So now, as you can see, this is a block. Let me maximize it. This is a block. This is another block, and this is another block. Now, when I send something to you, there is each, we call it blockchain because it is a chain of blocks. You see, there are chains here interconnecting these blocks together. We call it blockchain because it is a chain of blocks, series of unending blocks. Now, and each blocks contain particular details of informations of transaction done on this system. Each cryptocurrency has its own blockchain. The Bitcoin has its own blockchain. It's called the Bitcoin blockchain. Ethereum has its own blockchain. It's called the Ethereum blockchain. Each currency has its own blockchain. And every transaction done on that system is recorded in a block and on the blockchain. Now, each blockchain can only contain 4 megabytes of information. And each of this information contains the details of the transaction, when you sent it, to whom you sent it, how much you sent, and how much the person received. It's not going to record the location. Now, once this block gets filled, it automatically creates another one that will contain series of information from different places all over the world. Once that one gets filled, it creates another one. That is why it is called a blockchain, a chain of blocks, right? So I believe I've been able to give you some graphical illustration of that so far. So now let's go back to our class, right? So now we said which varies from one place to another, and each block contains a set of transactions, like I mentioned. Information of transactions have been sent independently, verified by each validator on the network. Now, what's the term validator? The validator can go in two ways. You are sending and receiving on this particular system, you're also a validator because you're using it, right? Now, but the word validator comes from the fact that, for everything that is done and it is new, there's nothing new in this world. I believe in that principle that there's nothing new. We can only have improved system. And for everything that is improved, it is because something has existed, right? So the same way we have in our basic financial system, that we have me send money from you to another person and you receive it, and that's to be validated by the central bank. But this time, it's not validated by the central bank. This time, it's going to be validated by people who are known as validators, people who do something on the blockchain, who actually pay, to work as validators on the blockchain. And it's not like they are the one that are going to sign your transaction. No, you sign your transaction from your wallet. But what they do is, all right, they provide some level of, let me just use the word like internet connection on the blockchain, and they also get paid for what they do. So when you send a particular amount of crypto from your account to another person's account, it is going to go through the blockchain, validated by some validators on the nodes. That is, node is the point of connection, and the validators are going to get paid. Like they get paid from your transaction. That's why you hear the word gas fee, which is like transaction fee. You pay for each transaction, and the gas fee is not for anyone. It is for these validators to be rewarded for the work they do on the blockchain. Sometimes it's just like they are playing a game, but you get to that part. So now, when you do transaction and mining, right? So your transaction is like a combination of private and public keys used to sign an authorized transaction. I've mentioned that earlier, that you are apparently, you sign from your wallet when you send. There's a place when you get to the practical aspect of this class, you see where you can sign each transaction you send. And miners include transaction in data blocks of solving proof work or puzzles. I mentioned that validators are like people that are just playing a game, right? But that game has something it does to the blockchain. It actually is one of the things that secures the system. So sometimes like they are solving puzzles. Like it is very, very, very difficult to mine. These are the people we call miners, because, okay, talking about mining, the total supply of Bitcoin we can ever have in this world is 21 million. And so far, we've only mined 19 point something million since the year 2009. It's almost 20 years now, right? We've only been able to mine, like, let's just like 70 something percent or 80 something percent of it, because mining is not very easy. and the amount you can mine reduces per time. This is where you get the terminology Bitcoin halving, where because the amount of cryptocurrency you can mine per time goes lower by half, like goes lower by half the current mining speed. So now, and these miners are those that mine out the cryptocurrency we all get today. And it's not like they mine it and they can all get the cryptocurrency. They only get a little from the transaction fee, the gas fee, and the likes. And they also keep a record. They help us keep a record on the blockchain. So now that is the way mining works. And now your public and your private keys. I've mentioned now that your public key. Let's just say for an example, you have a bank account and you have your bank account number, where which if I want to send something to your account, I'm going to input in my own database for me to send a particular thing to your bank account number or amount of money. Now that account number is what we refer to as the public key, which can be used to trace your wallet on the crypto system. It is public key because it is open to everybody. Anyone can own it. Now, we also have the private key, which are this private key, which is like your security number for your account. In Nigeria, we call it the BVN, the bank verification number. I don't know what they call it in another country or in your country, but it is called, I can refer to it generally as the security number of your account. Now, this, the same way you hide your security number and never expose it to anyone, you must never expose your security or your private key to anyone. Now, the difference is in the traditional financial system, your security number is open to your bank, is open to the central bank. That is why they can freeze your account. That's why they can do anything. The government have more access and power over your account than you, even as the owner of the account, does. But in the crypto system, your private key can only be known by you and you alone. No one else knows your private key. And that is why it is very important that you don't and never in any case reveal your private key to anyone, not even the owners or the one who created this blockchain knows your private key. So far no one knows your private key, they can't hack your account or your wallet. So when you hear people talk about their wallet was hacked, it's not just because someone got into their wallet anyhow. It was because they actually gave the person some permission that would allow them dig deep in their wallet to find out their private key. But at first, they needed to get into their account, right? So that's why you have to be careful on links you click on your wallet. We'll get there when we get to the practical aspect. So the public key, in the public key, two keys are used. One key is for encryption and another key is used for decryption. One key is public key, used to encrypt plain text to convert it to under ciphertext, and another private key which is used by the receiver to decrypt the ciphertext to read the message. So now when you're talking about public key, it is made up of two keys. One is to encrypt, one is to decrypt. When I send it to you, because it is a secretive system, the message, which is the transaction, is encrypted. And because I've imputed your own public key into the place as the recipient or as the receiver of what I want to send, your wallet will be able to decrypt the message I'm sending to you. So cryptocurrency, when you're dealing, is just like you sending message on your text. Hey, how are you? I send it to you and you get it. It's because you're the one I want to send to. That's why you're able to decrypt it. So when I send a transaction to you, I encrypt it and your wallet deciphers this message, decrypts it and say, okay, I'm receiving so amount of Bitcoin from so person, and it is already registered on the blockchain. No one else can see it. No one else can see it. It is open, but no one can see it. Open in the fact that you can always trace every transaction done on the blockchain. You can trace them, tracing the fact that unlike your bank system, where which if I send you money and you tell me you don't receive it, I have to go to my bank to report. I can track everything, every process of it in the crypto system. If I send you something and you tell me you don't receive it, all I need to do is go to the blockchain scan, I input your wallet address, I input the transaction ID, and I will see it was sent from so thing to so place at so time with in so block number on the blockchain, and it will record as successful. If not successful, it will let me know it wasn't successful. So I know that alright, definitely it was successful, but in most cases I've never seen the transaction that was not successful. So that is that about the public key. Now let's talk about the private key. Like, cryptocurrency is the secret of writing with the intention of keeping the data secret. I've mentioned that. So cryptography is classified into symmetrical cryptography, asymmetrical cryptography, and hashing. We're going to talk about the hashtags, like which is the hash codes. But now we've talked about the public key, which is the symmetrical, and we're going to talk about the private key now. So in the private key, the same key, secret key, is used for encryption and decryption. You know, I mentioned that in public key we have two keys. One is used for encryption, another is used for decryption. But in private key, the same key is used for encryption and decryption. This key is symmetrical because the only key is copied and shared by another party to decrypt the ciphertext. It is faster than the public key cryptography. Now, this is your secret key that must never be opened to anybody because you can use it to decrypt and encrypt message on your wallet. So they can use it to get access to everything on your wallet. It is like your security number. When we get to the practical part of this journey, I will show you how to, get your private key, get your public key. And this is one of the reasons why you have to stay on this particular journey and pay attention to so you don't miss out, because these are very basic, important things you need to learn and be very, very careful about when you start dealing in the crypto space. So now let's talk about the public key and the private key, like the differences between the public key and the private key. So the private key is faster than the public key. The public key is slower. In this case, the same key and the private key, the same key and algorithm is used to encrypt and decrypt. The public key, you use two keys to decrypt and encrypt. In private key cryptography, the key is kept a secret by you, the user. In public key, the key is kept open. The private key is symmetrical because there is only one key that is called the secret key. In public key, it is asymmetrical because you have two keys. In cryptography, the sender and receiver needs to share the same key when using a private key, but in public key, the sender and receiver do not use to share the same key. Now, that is why when you want to send and do transaction on the crypto space, you use your public key, not your private key. This is a private key. These are your account. So, in cryptography, this is private. In public key is public, and the private key is also private. So, it is efficient. It is an efficient technology. Public key too is an inefficient technology. Not like it doesn't work well, but it's an inefficient technology. It is used for large amounts of text, like a large amount of transactions, and it is only for short messages sending. So there is possibility of losing the key that renders the system void, and this is one thing to be very careful about. Once you use your private key, you can't get access to that wallet again. In fact, no one else. So you have to keep it. It's something you have to keep, and you have to keep very, very, very safe. I don't advise you pack it up on a Google Drive. I advise you find a way to keep it and don't write it down. So, because once you lose it, no one else can get it for you. So, there is less possibility of key loss when it's a public key and as the key is held publicly. So, the private key is to be shared between two parties. The public key can be used by anyone. The performance testing checks the reliability, scalability, the speed of the system. The load testing checks the stability of the system. These are just technical stuff. I don't think they are things that interest you so much, but it's basic and it is important. I let you get a hold of all of this information. So the private key is kept secret. We've talked about that. It's used to protect disk drive and other data storage devices. Public key is used to secure web sessions and emails. Now, also, I want you to know that the blockchain is beyond just a payment system. The blockchain is the whole drive of the Web3 development. It's not just about sending and receiving money. It is a whole lot of things. You can use it to send message. You can use it to text. You can use it to chat. Yes, the blockchain is crazy. You can use it to create a game. That is called a blockchain technology. So the recipient's private key decrypts the message. The recipient's public key encrypts the message in public key. So those are the difference of private and public key. So now let's talk about types of cryptocurrency.